There we go. All right, so this afternoon speaker is Natane Lim, and Natane has worked in early childhood education for over 20 years. Social justice work is really her passion, and she started out as a youth organizer for a nonprofit in Chicago. Natane leads the New Mexico initiative, as a project manager for Embracing Equity, Natane leads the New Mexico initiative to transform education across the state. And she and her husband, Chris, teach breakdancing to young people at their studio, which is called the Dancing Turtle in Albuquerque. Today, she's going to share how movement is crucial for children's learning and how you can help families bring more dance, fun, and connection into their lives. So welcome, Natane, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you, everybody, for having me. I'm really excited, and I'm going to dive right into my PowerPoint so it can help to guide me and also allow us to connect and do all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm really, really excited. I know Maya already did a chat, like check-in, but if you are just getting in, if you didn't have a chance, please go ahead and put your name, introduce yourself, maybe your role, home visitor, preschool, early intervention, where you're calling in from. I always love to see where in the state that you're calling in from. And then what's bringing you some joy today? So what are you coming in with? I know it is 3 o'clock, it's mid-afternoon, and you're like, whoa, I'm here and I have to wake up. So hopefully that we can do together. So please go ahead and use the chat to just check in today. Again, my name is Natane, and I have my email here in case, but I'll drop it at the end as well. So thank you all. Dance and movement is play. That is what we're going to be discussing today. I love an agenda because I am a Virgo, and also I love to be organized myself. So we're going to welcome here, do some bits and pieces. We're going to do a movement together. We will do 2 breakouts today. And the importance for me for that is that I don't like talking at people for the whole time. I feel like we learn better, especially as early childhood and working with babies, by doing and being with peers. So that's a part of our session today. Of course, talking a little bit about dance as an important piece to play and how that shows up for us and for our children. Finding some joy. I'm going to kind of share a little bit about what I find joyful with dance and movement and some resources if we get to the time to do that. And then closing, staying in touch. And if there's any questions at the end that maybe I missed or you'd like to ask, we'll save that for the end. So Maya gave you an introduction about me, and I'm going to share a little bit more in detail about my background and my family. I am very much community and family oriented, so I don't like to show up in spaces to just talk about me, and what I do, because it's not just me, it's all of my community, and that's the reason I get to do really amazing things. So my pronouns are she, her, hers. I live in Albuquerque, as Maya said. And the breakdancing studio, the Dancing Turtle, is a huge passion of mine as well. And I teach the tiny turtles, which is the preschoolers, and you'll see some of that in a little bit. I'm also a project manager for Embracing Equity. So I do oversee an initiative that's training across many sectors to make equitable change within our state. My background is in early childhood special education. So I directly have been working with self-contained classroom settings. So those are going to be settings that have multiple high needs and more one-on-one with children in the early childhood setting, as well as its extended day for those on the autism spectrum. That is another area that I have worked in for many years. And I've also worked in the transition meetings between early intervention or the IFSPs into IEPs, getting them into a preschool setting. So that's a lot of my background is centered around early childhood special education. On top of that, for quite a few years, I did do early childhood special education bilingual. So that was like another layer and amazing work that I got to do. This is my family and my husband, Chris, but he goes by Check It. That's a breakdancing name. My daughter, Tassie, who's in third grade, and my most important, sacred, amazing role is being her mother. And I always talk about them and uplift them because that is my motivation. And Tassie is and remains my North Star in much of what I do, especially when I talk about dance, because she's been a little B-girl since she was like 18 months, so she loves to dance. I'm also currently a Kellogg Leadership Fellow, which is an international and national fellowship, and it's been a really amazing experience that I get to bring back into the community. So that's a little bit about my story. I also am really humbled to begin this session with you all by honoring the indigenous people of the land I stand on today, known as Albuquerque, which is the lands of the Isleta Pueblo, Sandia Pueblo, and of course Santa Ana, Tiwa-speaking people as well. The land that is now known as New Mexico is composed of the historical and contemporary lands of many indigenous peoples, our Navajo Nation, Apache, with their own unique languages, cultures, stories, and histories. Currently, there are 23 federally recognized tribal nations in New Mexico, with around 8 indigenous languages spoken. Lots of amazing work happening in our state with revitalizing and reclaiming indigenous language in the early childhood sector for sure. And I ensure that I am accountable beyond saying just the words. I donate my time, share information like today, and share monetarily to local indigenous organizations such as, and I could put these in the chat later, Tewa Women United, the Three Sisters Collective, Pueblo Action Alliance, Caris Children's Learning Center, and Indigenous educators. Our family-owned studio, The Dancing Turtle, donates to the New Mexico Indigenous Land Tax, and these actions center our Indigenous communities while humbly doing what I can to ensure that they are not forgotten. They are a part of our community. So thank you all. Okay, before this, I'm actually just going to stop the screen. And I know I see a lot of not people on here. So I'm going to humbly request that maybe just for this moment, so that way we can see all of you amazing home visitors, if it's feasible or possible, to go ahead and put your screens on. It's hard in the dance world to not see anybody because the energy exchange is really important. So if you have capacity to do so, oh, amazing. I see a lot of things in the chat. Thank you. We are going to get moving, and I kind of gave you a little preview as to what that will be. But I am not a sit and get. I want to center joy. I want to get our blood flowing because it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're going to be in community for this hour. So getting to know each other, being a little vulnerable, taking some risks through play. Of course, if we're always asking our little ones to do it, our babies, our, birth to 3, it's important that we play too, and that we have some movement and dance. So nothing scary. Nobody has to spin on their head. Nobody has to do a one-handed handstand. We're just gonna move around. And if you're sitting or you're in an office space, that's fine. If you have an ability to stand, that would be great. So just modify as you need. So we're just gonna start by some simple stretches. We do this a lot with our students. So just some really simple head rolls back and forth slowly because we're older, right? Some of us, so going too fast is not too fun. And we're just gonna go ahead and relax slowly into some dragging our chin across the chest, shoulder to shoulder. And just keeping our breath nice and easy. Awesome. Let's take our shoulders back. Again, I picked things that if you're sitting, you can still participate. So rolling those shoulders to the back. And let's go ahead and bring them to the front. If you hear like pops and cracks like me, that means we're probably on the computer too much and not the best position. So hopefully this helps to open some things up. Awesome. So nice and easy. Take a breath. And let's reach up for the sky. And I like to just kind of go slowly, just pushing up the ceiling. Even if you have to kind of alternate each hip, or like maybe each toe is kind of coming up, the heels coming up on each side. This is good if you like yawn or moving the blood. It means your body really wants you to move. Excellent. And now we're going to put our hands on our hips and super easy, just like a hula hoop, some hip circles. And again, for little tiny ones, we run through our warm-ups pretty slow and not too many, but hip circles are a favorite because they all want to learn how to hula hoop. So we just try to tell them like stretching out the pelvic area is really good. It warms up everything. So that's what we're doing right now. And let's go ahead, if you're able to, just some nice arm circles. So you can kind of go back. You don't need to go too big. Just taking your time slow. And then let's bring them to the front. Again, anything we do one way, we should be doing the other. That's also for connection, for our brain development, helps with memory. We're going to talk about that, but always want to keep it even. So, how many of you have ever taken a breakdance class? Okay, how many of you have ever taken any kind of dance class? Okay, how many of you dance a little bit on the daily? At some point, you're moving, you're dancing. Oh, good. Good, good, good. So what I would like to do, because I know there are some of us that get a little nervous when we have to dance, I want to give you a routine, very simple. We're going to practice without the music, and then I'm going to put the music on for us to dance together. Just some simple breakdancing moves. So before that, let's take some deep breaths, just two. Super deep inhale, hold, and exhale, okay? So here we go. First one. Hold it. Release. Second one more time, deep breath in, hold, release. So this is my little gift to you. If you have little ones and you want to today to show them your new breakdancing routine, I suggest you do it because you'll be really cool. So at least you have something to walk away with all your little ones. So this is probably going to require some standing. Again, if you're sitting, modify, just try to mimic what I'm doing as best as you can. So we're just going to start with a very simple slide. So we're going to go slide this direction, slide this direction. Pretty easy, right? Let's try it again. Slide, kind of like a Michael Jackson move. Slide. Good. From here back in the middle, we're going to do just one slow turn, one simple turn. That's it. Third step, you're going to pretend like you're grabbing the screen. So in breakdancing, we do a lot with our hands. So there's a lot of movement that sometimes we talk about it, fingertips to toes, like we use all of our body. So you're going to reach out, grab something and toss it out. Super, super easy. So reach it, toss it. That's it. Excellent. And our final move, which is my favorite, is the universal breakdancing freeze, which is this, which we see in all the movies, correct? So it's just hugging the body, super hip hop. And that's it. So if we put it all together, we're going to just go slide, slide, turn, grab it, toss it, freeze it. Pretty harmless, right? It's okay. Look at it. And you can add those steps in when you're ready. So one last time, then we're going to do it with music, which is my favorite. All right, so let's slide. Here we go. Slide, slide, spin it, grab it, freeze it. Look at you. You're all breakdancers now. I gave you your first set. So now we're going to try with the music. It's not very fast. Also, the music I'm using is a resource for you all today. So I will drop the link and also get the PowerPoints to Maya so you can have all the amazing music and things that I do, that I have been doing in my classroom for a while. So we are going to practice with the music now. So slide, slide, spin, grab it, toss it, freeze, okay? And luckily I'm sharing screen, so nobody's gonna see you, so now's your chance, like go all out, okay? Here we go.
Llama Llama Red Pajama.
Oh
Ludacris
yeah.
is here.
Luda.
It's
Yeah,
Fate
man.
of the Furious in theaters tomorrow.
Hey,
Hi.
llama llama,
Hi.
red pajama.
Finn.
Reads a story with who? With his
No.
mama. Hey,
Fab.
mama kisses, what?
Fun.
Baby hair.
Free.
Mama llama goes all the way downstairs.
Good.
Hey, llama llama, what?
Try it again,
Red
baby.
pajama. Feels alone with who? Without his mama. Hey, baby llama. It wants a drink. Mama's at the kitchen, what the kitchen sink? I'm talking
Rabbit.
llama llama, what?
Toss it.
Red pajama, what?
Free.
Calls down to llama mama.
Now you just can move any way you
Mama
want.
says she'll be up
Except
soon,
the
be up
tongue.
soon. Baby llama hums a
Keep
tune,
practicing,
tune. Llama llama, red pajama. Waiting, what's he waiting for? Waiting for his mama. Mama, is it coming yet? Baby llama starts to fret. Llama llama, red pajama.
Move your body around. I
Whimper
can't see
softly
you, but
for his
hopefully
mama.
you hear.
Mama, what
Juice
you
is
doing?
flowing
Cause I
from
hear
mama.
her on the phone. Mama starts to moan. What you wanna do? I hear mama going home. Llama llama, red pajama. Listen's kinda quiet for his mama, but the llama doing. He's
try it again?
boo-hooing and hooing, and I'm screwing. I'm taking it to
All
a dog version. What you doing?
right. And give yourself a nice cup. Excellent job. I couldn't see you at the end, so I hope you wrote that down, memorized it. You have a routine for breakdancing now. Thank you all for joining with me in some joy and getting ready for our first breakout. So what I like to do is really draw upon our own stories and our own histories and really trying to center today about music and dance and movement in your own life. And it doesn't always have to be dance, but if we think about it, it's embedded in so much. It's on TV, we have radios, we have YouTube. There's also our cultural and ceremonial dances and music and song. There's a lot, so it's happening a lot. So what I would like you to do at this time, we're gonna have about 3 to 4 of you in a group. And again, as Naomi stated, those that are Spanish speakers, please hang back in the main room because you all will get to share as well. And it allows you time to connect today because a lot of times in early childhood, we are go, and then meeting one another is kind of fleeting. So it's your opportunity to get to know one another today. And we're learning by doing. So we're building a muscle around really just dancing, talking about it, sharing our stories about it. So when you get into the breakout, I would like you to share a story about a music or dance moment in your life. And you can go back as far as you want, right? Maybe it's cultural, maybe it's your family, maybe with with a specific family member or a friend. Think back as far as you'd like. And what I want you to do in that space is each take a turn, introduce yourself. What do you remember about this moment? How did it make you feel? Right? What was the feeling around that? Who was a part of this moment? And also, what impact did it have? Okay, so thinking about a story or a movement moment. And I really want you to think about, kind of really put yourself back there, right? And this is your time to connect and share, only about 5 minutes. So Maya's going to open up the breakout rooms, and then we're going to come back and kind of hear some people share out what came to mind for you. All right, and you'll see the join a breakout. If not, there's the 3 dots at the bottom. And I think, are they auto set up too, Maya? Awesome, cool. All right, and if you are a Spanish speaker, please stay back in the main room. You can go ahead and share in the main room. And we'll be back in 5 minutes. It'll go by very fast. Hi, everyone. If you're in this main room, please go ahead. Feel free to share your story. So a moment about music, dance, or movement in your life. And we have our interpreters here so that way we can connect and share, but would love to have you all be able to connect here in the space.
Hola, ah, para mí yo creo que un momento de baile que yo recuerdo es cuando participaba en la escuela, en los grupos de baile. Creo que me hacía sentir muy bien el poder tener esa conexión con mis amigas y disfrutar los pasos. Entonces, hay unos bailes que yo hacía cuando estaba pequeña que ahora los hago con mis hijas y a ellas les encanta aprender y se ríen y están como a veces sorprendidas porque dicen, ¿de verdad bailabas así, mamá? Y como se les hace extraño. Entonces, al mismo tiempo es un momento de diversión y pues nomás lo disfrutaba mucho.
Thank you so much, Edith. So lots of joy, happiness. I hear a lot of happiness and an ability to have connection. So that's really important. And I think we're all coming back into the space. So, and a few people want to share their moment. I know it goes quick. So, and then of course, getting into the space. But anybody here that would like to just share an aha or an impact of dance or movement on you in your life?
And I'm just going to remind people when you come back into the main room, you need to re-choose your language with the globe at the bottom. So go back down and click the globe and choose English or Spanish. Okay.
Thanks, Maya. All right. Thanks, everyone. I know we were whizzing back in here. So we were just saying that if there's maybe one or two people that want to share the impact of like dance or movement, it could even be, it doesn't have to always be like a, specific dance, but anything coming to mind, a song.
I can share. This is Mayra Gutierrez with Firstborn and More. And what most recently, my son has gotten into Selena. And so he has we've been watching her videos, of course, and he's gotten the routine down, the spin, and just being able to use the movement, and so now when he listens to songs that are cumbias, I can see that he's getting, he's utilizing the steps that he's learning through just free dancing, not a specific step whatsoever, but what he's seen and how he's experienced with dance. So,
Oh, thanks, Mayra. Yes, babies and young children have zero fear around dancing in front of anybody. They'll dance for anyone. Unlike adults, we're like, nope, I'll be in the corner in my space. Thank you, Maida. Well, I know you all got to share a little again. These breakouts go by fast. So we'll come back to another one to share a little bit more together. But I definitely would love to go ahead and share just my experience with dance and movement as a teacher, as a parent, working with different age groups. But in the chat, as I'm talking, and I know Maya does a great job of tracking that, just some things to consider before I kick off. what do you think the importance is of dance and how, that's play? Why is that so important, right? So feel free to drop that in the chat, like keeping that top of mind. Why are movement and dance or music and song for our littlest ones, why is that important, right? There is an important factor. We don't have to get into the academics all the time. A lot of us, from what I'm hearing today, it's a social piece, right? There's joy, there's a good feeling around it, there's a connection. This little photo is our tiny turtles. There's my daughter in the blue shirt. And so we are stretching our bodies here, but always giggles, right? Lots of laughter, lots of giggles. So the data, I used to not like looking up all the data, but I feel like it's really important, especially for us when we're dealing with young children. Why, again, that question, what's the importance of dance and movement? And so it's a form of play because it creates learning and connection. It's really full of freedom. There's not a certain way to teach a child how to dance. Exactly to your point, Maida, with your son, they're watching it. They're like little sponges, and then it's this ability to try to recreate it. But even if they're not exactly like that dance, they're still going to dance. There's not this piece of them that's like, oh, that's wrong. I'm going to stop. They just want to continue to do it and make those connections. It's also proven to create more brain stimulation. When children are moving, when there's some music during those appropriate times, right? It's multi things are happening, multifaceted, right? So it's improving the memory, it's improving many other skills because their body is moving. That's a lot of how they're able to intake more information because it's that ability to really connect everything. So it's multisensory. It's engaging a lot of cognitive function, especially if we listen to songs with directions, right? There's lots of kids songs that tell them, right hand up, left foot. And even if they're not doing it yet, it's instructional plus the music. Lots of things are happening. So it's going to enhance other areas of learning. And it's profound enough that it should not be isolated just to music time or, oh, we only do music at circle, we only do it for music time, or we only do it for a movement break. Really, my question here is how it's built into the day-to-day. It's important. It should not be isolated into one moment each day or with one music teacher, right? So for me, it was during transitions, certain music. I would also be like, touch your shoulders if you hear me, now wiggle. Okay, we're all here. So before we start a lesson, during cleanup time, maybe it's slower movements to slow down the body. So it doesn't always have to be fast paced or these things that are nonstop. It can be calm, it can be controlled, it can be music that matches that. And so knowing your ability in a setting, a home visiting setting or your classroom setting, you're able to gauge that. And how are you building that in, right? How are you making those connections and those neurons really connect? And again, motor development, physical growth is not the only thing happening. So much more is happening. Language, labeling, identification, their memory, how they're able to link movements to big and small things, right? So a lot of things are happening with it. And I, again, with my children in my classroom or even my own daughter, just it's always happening. And how you utilize it is really important. Babies just love to move. They just love to move. So we know that music, our voice being sing-songy, being high-pitched, and then being low, it's those types of triggers for them to know, like, oh, this is a calm thing, maybe this is a fast thing, this is going to be a silly thing. And so their behaviors are able to kind of mimic that, and it's going to promote that social emotional behavior between other kids. We also know that little ones are pretty egotistical. They're not seeing everybody around them, they're seeing themselves. And so it's really great for them to have moments in social settings to dance with others, because in those moments is when they do notice other people. And it's really natural to them, and they're just gonna get down and dance, right? It's important. They are having so much fun, but so much learning is taking place, which leads me to our benefits. So again, when we are thinking of development, when we're thinking of, and again, this photo really speaks to it, right? Parents and children being able to, and families, right? Being able to dance together, making time for that. How are you as a home visitor in the home leaning into that? Are you asking the types of music they listen to? Maybe there's cultural components that they do together, right? Feast days or other types of events that center that. And within all of these benefits that are here, the social skills, the spatial awareness, the balance, coordination, but really even for us, why do we go salsa dancing? Why do we want to go out with our, with our friends, right? It's a release. And our babies and our little ones still need that release too. It is very hard to be in this kind of, work mode. This is that ability to find that, okay, I can just move my body. I can just stretch out and I can wiggle, or I can copy the dance my teacher's doing, or my provider's doing, or my family member is doing. So those connections and relationships and watching people feel joyful around it is really great. And I know there's some adults that have this uncomfortable, oh, I don't dance. Everybody does. And so even your movement, maybe it is just stretching and movement and copying moves that you see. That's still movement. And it is a release. So for babies, as you can see here, no fear of judgment. They don't care about that. That comes with us later on, but they're free. There's a freedom to it. We ask a lot of children day to day. We ask them a lot of things to do, instructional, get this, go do this, can you find this letter, show me this. When are we allowing freedom, though, to happen so that they're free in seeking out the way that their body moves, or the way that they want to speak or squeal or sing and make up their own songs? These are really important parts for them to access, and it centers joy, right? Learning is happening while centering joy. That's the most important part for me that I've seen about 20 years that I've been teaching, right? And in those years of teaching, I have always blended in dancing and movement. But that connection to me, to others, to their family, when they share a new song or a new dance, there's a lot more that's happening with it than it just being, oh, just that music, today we danced. There's just physical, cognitive, social, emotional, and the joy. I can't really express that a lot than right now, but for me, it's the joy and the happiness that we all feel too when we dance and we're around our family or our friends. The cultural context and the wisdom and these stories and these pieces for our babies to be a part of their culture in music and dance is also very important, right? So in this photo, this is the Mexica New Year that happens at the Cultural Center in Albuquerque. My daughter and some of the group here will dance for the New Year in March. And so, and then this picture, which I love, is a picture I found in Canada with two babies learning how to do the powwow drum. So music and song and dance are deeply rooted and important to many tribes and cultures galore, right? And there's a learning aspect we can do to figure out how that works with our families and how they're accessing it, or how that's able to show up for children to feel really excited about what they can bring about their culture. And the easiest lift for that is through music and song and dance, definitely in a respectful and a curious manner, but the children feel seen, adults can feel seen, and there is, again, centering joy and celebration within these moments as well. Okay, I talked for a while, and hopefully now we know in the breakouts, it's your time to share. And so kind of taking all of this we're talking about, right? I would like us to think into and move into some actions. So you might be listening to me saying, I don't have enough time to do dance and music, or I don't really know how I'm supposed to build this in, right? I want you to think about a way that you can build it in. And maybe you're somebody in the breakout group that already does, and you can share some advice or some ideas or some tips. How often is it happening? How are families included, right? So how are families included in these teachable, kind of natural ways of being, right? Through dance and movement. And then considering how might you create some more time and space for this kind of activity, for dance and movement in your work, right? In your organization or the families that you work with. So we're going to go into a quick 5-minute again. So I know when you get in there, you kind of have to just get going. In the chat, we're going to go ahead and drop those prompts. So I'll put them in, and I think, so what are you currently doing with dance and movement? Maybe during your home visits, right? It's a good time to share. And then what would you like to do as a first step to like put that into action? And how can you create more opportunities with families? So we're going to go ahead into breakout. Please go ahead and take those with you, and we'll come back in 5 minutes together. If you're in the whole group, this is your time in here. Even if we're not speaking, this is your time to share some of that as well.
Do you have those questions that you could pop them into the chat and I can send them into the breakout rooms?
They are in the chat. Do you need me to put them in again?
Oh. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you, Naomi. Okay, group in the main room, please, this is your time to share as well. Is there any kind of dance or movement you're using? Is there anybody here that has maybe what they're thinking about they can utilize in their setting?
Yo sí, normalmente con mis familias tratamos de cantar y hacer unos movimientos pues, con las canciones. También tenemos un grupo de bilingüe Storytime en la librería. Entonces también implementamos lo que son las canciones, los movimientos con los bebés. Y como es entre español e inglés, nosotros estamos casi más trabajando con niños pequeños de como toddlers y luego también hay en inglés, pero es diferente edad, entonces son como más para niños de 18 meses, 2 años, y a ellos les gusta mucho. De hecho, hay unos bebés que ya están aprendiendo los movimientos en las manos, y eso es lo que yo hago con mis familias también.
Thank you, Edith. Anybody else have any thoughts, ideas on dance or? Well, thank you for sharing, Edith. And I know it's probably like we think common sense. We do dance, and so maybe it is thinking, how does that extend? How are others included? You know, are you able to use it with something else? Like you're saying, Edith, about reading, and then there's like music and song with reading. And so how can that, you know, really start expanding a little bit more? Maybe in moments that we don't think we're going to use them, but it is, you know, possible to try. Just that we're creating a lot of, and then some freedom, just time where music is playing, and that babies and, you know, infants and toddlers have a moment to just try some movement on their own, which I think is beneficial too. I think the room's closing soon, so everybody will come back to the main room in like a second. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Naomi. Again, the reminder when you come back in the room to make sure that you click on the appropriate language, and so that you're on the channel you need to be on. Excellent. Well, again, I hope you all had time together, even if you didn't get to go really, really deep, at least to share some thoughts, ideas, and again, I want you all to feel energized around being able to incorporate dance, even just like I was saying earlier in the other group, ability for freedom, just music and space for babies to be able to move. Not that you have to have some plan for it, but is there freedom in the dance or the movement that's being, shared with them? I want to share joy for myself as I kind of wrap up, because I want to make sure there's time for any questions. But for me, what brings me joy is, of course, you all know now, breakdancing. Really much, there's like lots of dances that I love. So it's not just breakdancing. That's just one that draws me in. But dance is joy and community, and it's being ever so present in our own happiness with children. I'm going to repeat that. It's being ever so present in your own happiness with children, because music does fill us up. And it's a feeling of letting go and being free. And when our children can see us, whether we're home providers, our parents ourselves, right? When they see us letting our guard down and being happy, there's a warmness, there's a trust, there's an ability to really break down some things for them to connect, right? That trust can really happen. So I'm going to share a quick little dance moment from our studio with our 3- and 4-year-olds. Those are the tiny turtles. So these are our littlest, our youngest break dancers. And again, we don't show them too much with instruction. We just create time for them to be able to dance and have space and a floor and each other to be able to move around and have a good time. I do want to share quickly, and again, I will make sure to get this slide deck to Maya. I have some cool music that's very child appropriate, but also a little different, because in my experience, I was always listening to Raffi, Jim Gill, oh my goodness, kind of the same artists all the time, that I would go off on like rabbit holes of finding different music that culturally was responsive, and also just current, because a lot of our kiddos, especially if they have, teen parents or younger parents, there's this other type of music too, an ability to connect with that also can bring them in, right? And then I won't have time to play these, but these are 2 super fun. One is Sweet Beats on YouTube, and it's just practicing rhythm, but it's this really great video for children to practice stomping and using claps to be able to produce rhythm. And then this is the alphabet, little hip hop version, but also with some phonics. And the visuals are really nice because it's just a big letter that'll pop up. And the music's really, really catchy. So memorizing all the letters, they do them in order and out of order, are really great.
I think there's time for you to do one of those. Why don't you go back and do one?
Okay. Okay, let me try Sweet Beats, because sometimes the commercial comes on. Fast forward.
You can play with 2 hands, or you can try going back and forth between your hands. So the song goes like this. If you want sweet beats, we've got some. If you want some sweet beats, we've got them.
Pretty catchy.
If you want sweet beats, we've got some. If you want some sweet beats, we've got them. Repeat after me, here we go. Beat, beat, cherry, beat.
Beat, beat, cherry.
Cherry, cherry, beet, beet.
Cherry, cherry, beet.
Beet, beet, cherry, beet.
Cherry, beet.
Cherry, cherry, beet, beet.
Cherry, cherry, beet.
So it's super cute. It's cherries and some beets. I didn't even know you could do something like this with cherries and beets, but my 3-year-olds loved it. And by the end of the week, like the rhythms would change. They would change like beet, beet, cherry, 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 beet. And so they're learning about some new fruits and vegetables too. So things that I wouldn't think would happen naturally just kind of happen. So again, Maya, I'll make sure to get this to you because with the PDF, they'll be able to click on it and take you right to the video. I did want to share, I am, again, my equity work, I have a flyer here in the chat right now. I'm just going to drop some information from myself to contact me and reach out to me at any time. And we are going to be working this year on putting our equity trainings, this year working on it, but for next year into Spanish as well. Right now they're in English, but we are working on the getting that done. And so there's some information for spring. We have some sessions and they are fully funded through Kellogg, so you don't have to pay. And of course, the dance. My husband and I have a new studio, a new season starting at the studio on April 28th, which is pretty soon. If you're interested in learning more, I also dropped that link as well, so you can go ahead and get your preschooler or maybe the sibling of the preschooler into some dance. And so, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. I hope you feel energized around movement and dance. I could probably spend like hours talking about this, so it's really hard to condense it into this time. But it's hopefully you can tell it's exciting for me, and I love to share that with young children. So thank you all for having me here. I know Maya said there might be some questions, so I'm happy to take those if there are.
Thank you so much, Natane. That was so much fun. I would love to like sit and listen to all those resources, but I want to go to what are questions? I haven't seen any in the chat yet. You can pop off mute and just say it out loud, or you can put it in the chat. But if anybody has questions, lots of thank yous coming through. Thanks, everybody. About how to use this information. She's given a lot of great ideas about how to work it into just a regular day. Some of my favorite memories of my kids when they were younger, they're all out of the house and older now, or the dance parties in the kitchen.
Yes.
Absolutely. Makes cleanup so much more fun.
It does. Yes, that's right. And then you can like race the song. Are you gonna make your bed and do the things before the song is up? Like, just fun ways to work with it.
Okay, it looks like maybe no questions. Anybody holding back on something you want an answer to? You've got her here right now with all her knowledge and expertise. No? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you so much, Natane, for sharing with us. And this is just Tuesday, so we have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with sessions at 12 and at 3. You can use the very same Zoom link for all of the sessions. And I hope you will come back and join us for more talk and fun and information on play and its importance. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Natane.
Thank you, everybody. Hi, Maida. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Oh, I have to bug you and see what you're up to.
Sound good. Okay.
See you.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Natane, thanks so much. That was really nice. I love how you bring yourself
Thanks,
and
Maida.
your values and your beliefs and everything to what you do.
Thank
It's
you so
just
much. I appreciate it. I had a good time. It's hard to like, like you're at your home and my daughter's here, and so she keeps kicking it. Like, what are you doing? Which is fine because she's used to it now. But I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm dancing in front of Zoom.
Well, you got a bunch of people at least chair dancing today.
Yeah, that works. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I will take it as much as I can. Well, thank you all so much, Maya. If you need anything from me, I know we'll probably be connecting soon. So, yeah, I'll get you this. I'm going to email you right now the new PDF so you have it.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sandra.
all.
Thank you, Naomi. See you later.